Job hunting. It could be pretty chill if you're at a decent job and one that you enjoy and that pays well. If you're not employed, then it will be mega stressful. Even young people still living with their parents will feel a strong social pressure to get out of the house and be independent as rapidly as possible. Do you want to get a good job quickly, but you have no experience? This will be even harder if it's your first job hunt or your first job hunt in a new industry. But today we'll go over 10 different tactics you can use to successfully acquire a good job. A good job being one that has good pay and that you can enjoy doing. Number one, look where others don't. There are a million places to look for jobs. There are classified ads in the newspaper. You can search websites like Glassdoor, link in the description. You can also Google job fairs near you to visit. All of these will generate leads, and the job fairs are probably the most creative of this bunch. You can also go driving for dollars, going up and down the different main roads in your town and seeing what businesses are hiring. Even if you don't see a hiring sign, you can still knock on the door, ask, and apply. But the real catch is to not limit yourself to what people see and think about. That one major factory in your town, everyone knows to apply there. And you see the Applebee's just off the highway every time you drive past it. So does everyone else. I use a local indoor rock climbing gym about once a week, and it's wedged inside this gigantic building that is owned by AT&T. I have no idea what they do there, but if I didn't go out of my way off the beaten path to this rock climbing gym, then I would have never known there was an AT&T facility so close to my house. And even now, I only notice them because of the tiny little AT&T sign that they have in one corner on one side of their building. They don't need to advertise, so they're off the main roads, and there's no signage to draw your attention. So, try driving just off of the main roads, and when you see a random warehouse of sorts with a large parking lot, see what goes on there. You can probably sit there in your car and check what Google tells you because it'll know your location on the map. And from there, you can try and figure out what the business does. You might be able to find its website, and that might even have positions that are open there. You can also knock on the door. If you do decide to knock on the door, try those first two options so that you can be knowledgeable when you knock on the door. You might want to know if they're a textiles location, a call center, or a telecommunications hub. Be open about the fact that you're job hunting, but don't say right out of the gate that you want to work there. If that's immediately what you say without really understanding what they do there, I think you'd sound overly desperate myself. Instead, ask if someone can take a minute to show you around and explain what they do there. If you're lucky, it'll be a manager or an employee with a good reputation, and you can use what you learned reading about the company to impress those individuals and use what they show you to decide if you want to work there. Since they've already met you, they already know you, and you made a personal first impression, you are likely near the front of the line, assuming there are openings and that you have the correct skills for them. Speaking of which, number 2, learn skills. Inevitably, while you can kind of get away with no experience, a decent starter job will require skills. This might mean you're charismatic if it's a sales position. This might be fitness if it's a moving company or a construction company. A lot of jobs prefer that you have a formal certification to prove that you have skills. These typically cost some money, some time, and require you to take a test of some sort. But they will be helpful to you. A real estate broker, for example, is not going to be legally allowed to hire you for sales unless you have a real estate license. But maybe you could work on that certification while you work as the broker's bookkeeper. Google is your friend and will show you how to at least get reasonably qualified on paperwork for whatever industries might interest you. For example, CompTIA, link in the description, offers numerous online training certifications for the IT industry. They do cost money, but you could also look for free equivalent training on the internet and then just buy a test voucher. Many of these courses are $1,000 or so, and Salary.com says that IT technicians average out $29,000 to $79,000 a year, while ZipRecruiter.com reports an average hourly wage of $17.26 as of December 2020. You can surpass those numbers by eventually upgrading from being an IT network or system administrator to instead being a network or system engineer, meaning instead of maintaining the system for folks, you would be designing it. Number 3, use your network. So you checked all of the normal websites, you knocked on some random warehouse's door, and these classes look kind of expensive. Well, you're not done yet. It's not always what you know, but sometimes who you know. Ask your friends, family, and the guy who was a bully in 5th grade. Be chatty with strangers and just ask if they know of any job openings. Naturally, maybe your network isn't conducive to you finding a decent job, whatever that is for you. Not to worry, we have a potential solution. Number 4, volunteer. If you don't know the right people, then you have to find a way to meet them. One way to do this is to volunteer. In particular, I know there are a lot of odd jobs to be done in emergency services, including both fire and emergency medical services. You could cook dinner, you could clean out the ambulance. If you make it clear that you want to be a part of this community and help, they will have some free labor for you. And if you get along pretty well with the folks there, most departments will pay for you to receive training to get emergency certifications. This may mean getting qualified as a fireman or an emergency medical technician, but it might also mean just getting your emergency driver's license. I used to be an EMT, and my squad actually had a dedicated driver who had no other certifications, and the emergency driving course took me like 2 weeks to complete for the state of Virginia. You could also try building homes for Habitat for Humanity. They need some skilled individuals, real contractors and construction workers, to direct all of us clueless volunteers how to build a house. So if you show up on time or early and do good work consistently, you can straight up ask one of these general contractors if you can join their team. Even if they don't hire you straight away, they might be able to use your Habitat for Humanity projects as an internship of sorts or a training opportunity, like you're auditioning for their team or they're prepping you so that you can apply to another construction company. And boom! Now you have skills and a network. Number 5, elevator pitch. If you're having trouble selling yourself successfully and finding jobs that are a good fit, maybe you need to do some prep work on how you talk to friends, family, strangers, fellow volunteers, or whoever else about your job hunt. Try to prepare an elevator speech, a 30 to 60 second presentation that you can give to almost anyone about why you're awesome, what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and what your goals are. You can use this to capitalize on any coincidental run-ins with anyone from a business executive to a middle manager who can influence hiring. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. Just be sincere and make sure you can say to most anyone in a lot of different contexts with enthusiasm. Number 6, be willing to relocate. If none of the above is working, simply try extending your search radius. Staying near your hometown is very important for some people, and I can understand why. It's where all the friends you've hung out with are from and where they will probably stay, and your family's there. But if you want to have a good job, decent pay, and pleasant work, you might want to move away a bit. This might mean taking a larger commute, needing a long drive to visit for weekend trips, or even going so far away that you need to fly home. At each of these levels, further from home you are willing to go, you increase your opportunities exponentially. According to Forbes and MarketWatch, being willing to relocate often results in a 10 to 20% higher pay than if you chose to stay close to home. This might not be for everyone if you want to be near your family or they won't be moving with you. But It's on the table, especially for young couples and singles. Don't forget, if you're relocating a substantial distance, many companies will offer relocation packages to help you get moved to the new company. You shouldn't bet on it, but if you're in the last round of job interviews or if you've been offered a position, it's at least worth asking. Number 7, don't say numbers first. I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that part of what makes a good job for you includes how much it pays. So, when you are securing a job successfully, you want to be able to negotiate your pay. First, strive not to say numbers first. Maybe start with, what's the budget for this position? If they press you, then give a range based on what's normal for the industry. I understand that most new sales associates have a $50,000 to $60,000 salary in the area, but I'm looking for a career, not just a job, though I do understand that's the going rate. And the whole time during salary negotiations and the entire job application, be polite and be professional. Don't be a hyper aggressive bull in a china shop, but don't be a meek little pansy if you know you're getting paid below industry standard or if the income just really won't work for you. Make it very clear the whole time, though, that you want more than just a salary or a wage. You want them to know that you want to make serious contributions to the team and have upward mobility prospects. If at all possible, before numbers are even said, you want to be asking the hiring professionals what opportunities there are to be paid commission or bonuses based on the results you achieve, become a part owner in the company, or how you might move into a junior management position. If all of this is brought up before the salary itself, it sets a precedent in the hiring official's mind that they expect to be paying you a lot because you're going to get promoted a lot, which of course is because you're awesome, as you communicated in your elevator speech. Number 8, write a resume that just doesn't suck. I know. You're not here for the obvious easy advice, resumes, duh. But whether you're applying for jobs traditionally, starting somewhere like Glassdoor or LinkedIn, or if a mid-level executive you met at Starbucks loved your elevator pitch, you will almost certainly need a resume, even just as a formality. Consider using one of the links below to find a resume template to start with. It's okay if it's just one page, double-spaced. And if you have no experience, most of it will basically be a written version of your elevator speech. However, you should also go through and tailor the verbiage of your resume based on the company you're applying to. As a hiring official myself, I easily put anyone on the bottom of the pile who clearly copy and pasted a resume that has nothing to do with my organization or the positions they are applying for. Number 9, relentless growth. It is statistically proven that you are 5% more likely to be hired if you subscribe to Relentless Growth. Just kidding. We'll go into a real one now. Number 10, create your own job. And if no one else seems to want you to work for them, or you aren't a good fit for any of the jobs that you're finding, or you just hate the idea of your income being dependent on someone else's business, consider creating your own job. This usually means either building your own business, or you could be working in sales where you are paid commission. In both cases, your income is based on your performance. This could sound scary and really hard to do, because it is. But if you have no or very little experience, you are also likely young enough that you can get away with living with your family while you work on this. And if that isn't achievable for you, then starting with easier to grab part-time and minimum wage jobs like at a franchise restaurant may be where you have to start. And then you just have a strange number of roommates to split the bills with so that you now can work fewer hours and have the time to build your own job. For sales, this could mean getting your real estate license, becoming a property manager, being a car salesman, which also requires a license in most states, just a fee and a sheet of paper though, or selling insurance. For building a business, you could start a YouTube channel, a blog, or you could make baked goods at home and sell them at the farmer's market until you have enough money to rent out your own storefront. Getting a serious job with no or very little experience will be challenging, but you can find a way to overcome and make it happen just as thousands before you have. We want you to become successful in life, and having a fulfilling job that pays you well will help with that. You only have one life to live. Grow it relentlessly.